Okay, we welcome back to the show Congresswoman Cathy McMorris Rodgers of the great state of Washington. Well, at least her part of it's a great state of Washington. Cathy, this in China competes bill is very interesting. The draft from the White House doesn't even mention China, and it sounds like they're trying to turn it into a spending bill now that BBB is dead, and maybe a supply chain bill. But will it help America compete with China, in your view?
Unfortunately not. It really is a missed opportunity. I know that the Democrats are wanting to say that it's an American competitive bill, but it's taking a page out of China's playbook. It's trying to outspend China. China has a centralized industrial policy. China picks winners and losers based upon political allies, and that's who they give the money to. And that's what this is. This is a similar type of an approach, rather than really focusing on what it would take to get America to be competitive. And if anything, this bill would only make it worse. So I think it's more accurately described as an American Concedes bill. And although the Democrats continue to say, well, this is about competitiveness, this is about China, the White House, when they issued their statement of support, as you just said, didn't mention the word China. Neither did Speaker Pelosi. And in fact, they mentioned the word the bill itself mentions the word coral more than China. And so it really is, it's more spending. We don't even know how much spending for sure. We've calculated at least $325 billion more spending. Rather than really focusing on the underlying issues that need to be addressed around permitting, around the regulatory climate in the United States, around increased costs that are being driven because of this administration's policy, inflation. Those are the issues that we need to be addressing to make us competitive.
You know, permitting, it's a great point, permitting and regulating. So the more we learn about the infrastructure bill, which was supposed to make us more efficient and competitive, the worse it gets. We're not really spending on bridges, roads, and tunnels, et cetera. But that point about permitting, remember the NEPA stuff, you're supposed to have one-stop federal shopping, so you'd only have 1 to 2 years. Turns out that's not really the case. And that's the stuff that would make us more competitive, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Right now, it takes 7 years on average to permit a transportation project. And you think about all the money that's involved in that at the time. This bill, this latest spending package from the Democrats, it includes a slush fund for, well, UN. It's $8 billion for the UN Green Climate Initiative, but another one is $3 billion for the solar manufacturing, domestic solar manufacturing. Now, to your point, permitting here, first of all, it takes 3 years to permit a solar farm, but beyond that, if you're going to boost solar, you need to address actually getting raw materials and the components here in America. Right now, we're dependent upon China for 90% of the solar products that we need in order to build these farms. And so, rather than addressing what it's going to take to really manufacture here in the United States, the raw materials, the chemicals, the permitting, they're saying, we're going to do this, we're going to put lots of money into solar, which means we're just going to purchase more solar panels from China. This is not the way to compete. We need to address these permitting issues. We need to address the regulatory issues that often make it really difficult, and we also need to address the raw materials and the critical minerals that we need that have been locked down here in America.
I'm going to bet, Cathy, that in these bills, deep in these bills, I haven't read them, maybe your kids have read them, is making it harder and harder to do the raw material resource drilling and mining so that we could be energy independent. I'm not against solar panels. I don't think you are either. I'm not against wind. I'm not even against electric. I'm just saying, can we do it here in America where we have the resources and the know-how? Why do we have to farm it out to China? Here we go again. Last point. Give you the last word.
Well, I completely agree. Steelworkers Union in Spokane, Washington made the same point. They said a real infrastructure package would have included mining in the United States. And instead, we saw the Biden administration unilaterally shut down a cobalt mine in Arizona. We saw them shut down another mine in Minnesota. So instead of manufacture in America, we're going to make sure that we have the supplies that we need. they're making it even harder. So we need to go back to lifting the regulatory burden, cutting taxes, saying yes to American energy. That's the way that we make America competitive and grow our economy.
Spot on. So, Cathy, when you and Kevin McCarthy and the others, when you put together your new program for re-election, can you make the Trump tax cuts permanent, please? That's my only wish. Just make the Trump tax cuts permanent. Anyway.
I'm completely on board. Right. Let's do it. That's job number one.
Cathy McMorris Rodgers, thank you, ma'am. Really appreciate it.